Hey guys, so I'm recording this one a little bit later in the day than I usually do. And the lighting in my room is not very good. So this one's just going to be audio and you're probably not going to see my face very much for this one. Okay, so let's just jump right in. All right, so the first thing that we're going to be doing for this lesson, we're going to be working with the concept of multiplying 3 or more factors. So for example, in this first one, we are going to multiply 3 times 4 times 5. So when you have something like this, generally a good rule of thumb is to just focus on the first two factors. Okay, so our first two factors are 3 and 4, so we're going to just do 3 times 4, and we know that's 12. Now, bring down our times 5, and we're just going to stick them together, and now we've got 12 times 5. And 12 times 5 is 60. That's just how I like to do it. You can change the order around if you want. You're allowed to do that with multiplication and you will still get the same answer. However, as we continue in math, you might end up with a lot of factors, and really it's generally just easier to start at the beginning and go from there. So for number 2, this one, we have 4 factors in this problem. All right, so again, you can do this in any order if you want, but I highly suggest you start from the beginning, and that's what I'm going to do for this one. Okay, so our first two factors are 4 and 5, so we're just going to do 4 times 5, which equals 20. Then we're going to take that 20, and we're going to take the rest of our original problem, so the times 10 times 10, and we're going to stick those down there. 20 times 10, again, we're focusing on the first two factors in our problem. All right, so 20 times 10 is 200, and then we're going to just bring down our last times 10, and we're going to do 200 times 10 equals 2,000. Now we're going to move on to a little bit of vocabulary, kinda, sorta. We are working with exponents and base numbers. All right, we've been doing this actually for a while. Okay, so a good example of an exponent would be if I said, let's just do 5 squared. 5 squared is easy. 5 squared, we have our exponent, which is 2, and we have our base number, which is 5. So the exponent up there, that little tiny 2 up in the corner, just tells us that, hey, you're actually going to do 5 2 times. You're doing 5 times itself, 5 times 5. But now we're getting to the point where we might have a different exponent. So we might have a different number up in that little corner. So for example, we might start having 4 cubed, which basically just means 4 is our base number and the exponent is 3. So for this one, we are not just doing 4 times itself, we're doing 4 times itself again. So the way that this works, and this is very important, the way that this works is that we are doing 4 times 4 times 4. Again, just like we just did with the other two problems, we are going to focus on the first two factors. 4 times 4 is 16. We're going to bring down the rest of our problem. Just did a little bit of math over there. And then we see that 16 times 4 is 64. But it's very important that you realize that when you're working with exponents, that 3 up there, that means you're doing, in this case, 4 times 4 times 4. You are not doing 4 times 3. That is incorrect. That is a wrongo. That is, we don't do that. Okay? So now, to drive that home, let's move on to the next problem. Rewrite this expression using exponents. So now we have 5 times 5 times 5. Our base number is 5, so we're just going to slap that down there. All right, and then we're going to see how many times are we multiplying by 5. Well, we've got 1 5, 2 5, 3 5s. So we're going to be multiplying it 3 times. So that means our exponent is going to be 3. So our answer is 5 cubed. Another way you can actually say this is you can say 5 to the power of 3, but generally people will just say 5 cubed. Number 4, and we are going to simplify 5 squared plus 2 cubed. Everybody breathe. How I like to do these is I like to write out everything that I'm actually doing. So for example, the 5 squared is going to turn into 5 times 5, and the 2 cubed I'm going to turn into 2 times 2 times 2. Okay? This just helps me stay focused and know what I'm trying to do. do the easy one first. 5 times 5, 25. Easy peasy, lemon squeezy, so easy. Then we're going to move on to our friend the 2. So we're going to focus on those first two factors. So the first 2 times 2, we know that equals 4. So we're going to throw that 4 down and we're going to bring the rest of our problem, that last times 2, in next to it. Okay, and I'm going to bring down the 25 as well just to keep everything together. All right, so now we've got 25 plus, parentheses, 4 times 2. 4 times 2 is 8. Okay, then I'm going to rewrite the problem again. I'm going to write 25 plus 8, and that's going to give me my answer, 33. So it starts out crazy, and it's a little bit crazy to get to the answer, but once you get the hang of it, it's not that bad. All right, last one. The wording in this one is a little weird, but the question is, use the formula for the area of a square to find the area of this square. And do not take a ruler out, but we're going to pretend that each side of this square is 5 inches. All right, so we need to find the area of this square. Now, we all know that when we're working with area, what we're really doing is we're just multiplying the sides. Or the fancier way of saying it is we're multiplying length times the width. But with a square, we know that all 4 sides of a square are going to be the same number. That's what makes it a square. All 4 sides are the same. So what you always end up doing when you're finding the area of a square is you end up multiplying one number by itself. Where have I heard that before? Oh wait, that's what we do when we square things. The formula for finding the area of a square, we can just write it as area equals side squared. Okay, or as I've written it, A equals S squared. So then we just got to plug in our number, 5 inches I said, so we've got area equals 5 squared inches. Our area just equals 25 inches. So go ahead and give this a whirl. I believe in this lesson there's only 1 or 2, maybe 3 problems that actually go over the information I just told you. Please keep in mind that a lot of the information that I teach you for a new lesson usually doesn't really start showing up until a lesson or 2 afterwards. That's just the way that our math books work. They just like to kind of ease you into the new stuff. So it's not that I have the wrong book. I promise I have the right book. It's just the way that our math books work. They like to ease you into the new stuff and help build your confidence and make sure that you know what you're doing before they throw like 7 million questions at you on new stuff. Okay? All right, so let me know if you need any help. I'll be around, and good luck.